Going into your 4th of July weekend, luckily low rain chances, but what is the heat going to do? I'll have more on that coming up.
And Liverpool soccer fans mourning after a star player is found dead. Diogo Jota and his brother were involved in a deadly car crash in Spain. We have the details coming up. Plus,
Democrats are doing all they can to delay a vote on President Trump's big beautiful bill. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the latest coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's Thursday, July 3rd. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell alongside meteorologist Hannah Fink, and we're so happy you joined us on the show this morning. Hannah, I know a lot of people will be using today to get ingredients for that 4th of July barbecue. So how's the weather looking for that?
Well, it's definitely looking hot out there, but if you have outdoor plans, the rain is holding off. So that is some good news. But across the area, plenty of sunshine to warm us up. Most of us are already near 90 degrees or slowly getting there. As you can see, there's not a lot of cloud coverage in the area, so that is why we're warming up so fast. And that's because that front that gave us all those rain chances earlier this week has cleared out. So we have the dry air behind it, which is giving us that drier feel. And here's another look to show you that it's drier. If we have this northerly wind, that means less humidity out there. So that actually helps that more pleasant feel. And that is it here. Here is another way to show you. This is all in front of that front right here is now along the coastline. So we have a little bit of drier air, but still a little bit moist because of the typical time of year for right now. Forecast planner, hot in Mobile, 93 degrees by 1 p.m. Plenty of sunshine for your afternoon, and the same thing for Pensacola. It's going to be hot across the area today. Very minimal cloud coverage, so make sure you are getting some shade, break in the AC, and staying hydrated out there with these temperatures. That pleasant feel means we go down the category to frizzy. We've been in this ponytail category for our hair forecast, but now you will be able to wear it down and not feel the sweat dripping down your neck. If you're beginning your 4th of July festivities today, here's your grilling forecast. It's going to be hot out there, but no rain to ruin your day. I have more of a 4th of July forecast coming up.
Hannah, thank you. Well, we begin this morning with more than 1,500 people evacuated as a fast-moving wildfire burns across the Greek island of Crete. Over 200 firefighters battling the flames you see on your screen there. Officials say the 2 people were evacuated by boat overnight, and several residents were treated for breathing difficulties. There were no immediate reports of serious injuries. However, 6 private boats were on standby in case further evacuations were needed. Wildfires are frequent in Greece during its hot, dry summers, and the fire department has already tackled dozens of fires across Greece so far this year. And new this morning, Liverpool fans are mourning the death of star player Diogo Jota. Fans lining Liverpool Stadium with flowers and tributes after hearing the news of Jota and his brother dying in a car crash in northern Spain earlier today. The Spanish Civil Guard says they were found dead after their car went off a road and burst into flames. Police still investigating what led up to the crash and say no other vehicles were involved.
Absolutely gutted. There's not a word that I can think that's making me sad at the moment. It's just devastating, absolute devastation. But for the player it was and is, it's just unbelievable news. I just can't think of anything else.
Now, Jota just got married 2 weeks ago and leaves behind his wife and 3 children. Well, in the meantime, rescue crews in Indonesia say they've recovered 4 bodies and rescued 29 people after a ferry sank near the resort island of Bali. The ferry went down almost 30 minutes into its journey late yesterday to Gili Manuk port. Rescuers are still searching right now for 32 people who are missing. Family members arrived at the departure port this morning, hoping their loved ones were among those found. Authorities say the ferry was carrying 65 people and 22 vehicles. Improved weather and sea conditions are helping crews in their search for those still missing this morning. Well, Congress is getting close to passing President Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, but Democrats are holding things up. Fox's Rebecca Castor is tracking the House floor as we near the president's July 4th deadline.
Beginning at 5 this morning, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries talked.
And if Republicans were so proud of this one big ugly bill, why did debate begin at 3:28 a.m. in the morning?
And talked.
Why would anyone in this House vote to take away Medicaid?
And talked. Jeffries can't stop President Trump's massive tax and spending bill from passing, but
I feel the obligation, Mr. Speaker, to stand on this House floor and take my sweet time.
the colossal bill makes Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent, includes no tax on tips or overtime, increases funding for border security and the military, but also raises the debt ceiling and makes cuts to Medicaid and SNAP programs.
This was the American agenda that the voters gave us a mandate to go deliver.
Some people have called it beautiful. Some have called it ugly. I call it cruel. It is the cruelest bill that I've ever seen since my tenure in the House of Representatives.
The bill seems to be on a glide path to passage, even though 0 Democrats support the bill. President Trump twisted arms overnight, posting, "For Republicans, this should be an easy yes vote, ridiculous." It looks to have worked on most of the Republican holdouts, but not all of them.
The consequences will be visited on our constituents. Most people probably get away with their yes vote on this and get reelected, but it's not good for America.
GOP leaders say issues some Republicans have with the bill could be addressed through executive actions or additional bills later this year. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And stocks opening Thursday are ticking upwards. Investors reacting to the latest U.S. jobs report showing hiring picking up, defying economists' expectations. In June, the U.S. added 147,000 new jobs, far above the roughly 100,000 predicted. And the unemployment rate also slightly fell, dropping from 4.2 to 4.1%. The positive economic news coming despite concerns the Trump administration's policies could be weighing on the American job market. With the ongoing trade wars, the federal hiring freeze, and the White House's immigration crackdown.
This was a great report, and it's the 4th time in a row the president has beat expectations.
The tariff talks are working, and we're seeing it on the ground, and the numbers are proving to be just that, good for the American worker.
With this still strong jobs market report, markets expect the rate cut to be off the table for the July meeting, making September the first possibility for the Federal Reserve to make that interest rate cut. And listen to this now. At least 4 people are dead, more than a dozen are hurt in a mass shooting in Chicago. Police say, according to witnesses, a dark-colored vehicle drove by the Artist Restaurant and Lounge when someone inside the vehicle opened fire on a crowd standing outside. It all happened around 11 p.m. last night in the city's River North neighborhood. Police say 2 men and 2 women were killed. At least 14 other people were shot and taken to the hospital in various conditions. Now, a Dunkin' Donuts next to the Lounge had some of its glass shattered from the shooting as well, but so far, no arrests have been made. And here at home, the investigation continues into a crash in Mobile County that left 2 teenage girls dead. We're told it happened near Airport Boulevard and Snow Road. Family members say the teens were walking to a nearby store around 1:30 yesterday morning when they were struck and killed. The family says the 2 teens, a 16-year-old and 15-year-old, were friends. Family members identified the 16-year-old killed as Tykeria Overstreet. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is the one investigating this case. And we're told that at this time, no charges have been filed against the driver. And Mobile police arresting a woman after a car chase. Police say Nishia Brewster led officers on a chase through Midtown Mobile. Investigators say police tried to pull Brewster over near Government and McVeigh, but she refused to stop. The chase coming to an end on Murray Hill Court, where Brewster was taken into custody. Several people in the area telling us they were standing outside when those cars came flying into the neighborhood. Right now, Brewster faces attempt to elude charges. In the meantime, 2 of the candidates running for Mobile's mayor met face-to-face in a forum dominated by crime. Mobile County Commissioner Connie Hudson and former Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine agreed that the city needs more police officers. Both said all of their other ideas for improving Mobile won't mean much if people don't feel safe.
I hear it everywhere I go, no matter what area of the city I visit. That is the number one issue that I hear.
And so how do we fix it?
I would say that we need to align priorities, the budget priorities, with hiring and training more police officers. We need to get back to community-based policing.
The one big change for me really is transparency and accountability. We have spent a lot of money, and I would argue that the city has overextended itself financially.
Two candidates were not at that forum. That was former Judge Spiro Chariagadis, who said he had a family commitment and instead sent in a video. State Representative Barbara Drummond says she wasn't notified about the event until Tuesday afternoon, but she had a meeting in Montgomery and spoke with us by phone. She agrees Mobile needs more police, but says the city needs to invest more in community groups like the Boys and Girls Club to reduce overall youth violence. We have both of their responses posted right now on our website, fox10tv.com. Well, coming up, the Wharf is kicking off celebrations for America's birthday, but the 4th of July fun continues on both sides of the bay tonight. We'll tell you when and where after the break, but first.
The Grand Bay Watermelon Festival is almost here. We have more on what you can expect and how you can enjoy all the watermelon you can eat coming up.
And for any outdoor activities you may have today as well as into tomorrow, just keep in mind it is going to be a hot one with no rain to cool us off. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, it's that time. Hosting a summer cookout usually requires serving up delicious treats from the grill, but instead of spending too much time stressing over flavor and seasonings, grilling experts are sharing tips on how to simplify your barbecues ahead of this weekend. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look as food safety specialists also point out ways you can help prevent foodborne illnesses.
Hosting can be a lot of work, especially if you're the one who's also cooking. To keep things easy, so you can focus on having more fun, grilling experts, the Grill Dads, Ryan Fay and Mark Anderson, say the secret is letting the sauces do all the work.
If you get a great sauce on there, that's what everybody's going to remember from the cookout, and you can let somebody else do the heavy lifting and then take all the credit.
The duo says anything from meats to veggies can be jazzed up with a simple store-bought sauce.
You know, people are like, oh, did you make your sauce? I'm like, no, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Besides basting meats, you can also leave them bare and provide different sauces for your guests to add afterwards.
As the ribs come off, people can choose their own adventure. You know, you can put out as many sauces as you want.
Meanwhile, food safety experts say you'll want to keep the tasty items you make from getting people sick. According to the CDC, bacteria on food can multiply fast if left at room temperature, or between the danger zone of 40 and 140 degrees.
Food can sit outdoors for a very short period of time, so usually we think about, for cold food, about 2 hours, and for our hot food, about 4 hours in time span. However, that is going to be shorter if our air temperature is greater than 70 degrees.
A meat thermometer can also help ensure you're not serving anything undercooked.
When we cook our hamburgers or any other type of ground meats, then we need to cook those to 155 degrees. Chicken, we need to cook that to 165 degrees.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And on the same note, medical professionals say if you're planning to set off fireworks, it's important to be careful. They recommend wearing protective gear and picking an open area with a hard, flat surface away from buildings, vehicles, or anything flammable. It's important to only light one firework at a time. They strongly suggest having a bucket of water or even a fire extinguisher on hand. And if a firework doesn't go off, do not attempt to relight it. Make sure to check the laws where you live as well, and if possible, leave the fireworks to the professionals. As you saw in our last block, several opportunities to watch fireworks on the Gulf Coast this weekend. And if you do suffer a minor burn from a firework, do not put ice on it, as that can make it even worse. Instead, you want to wash the burn under cool water. And if the pain persists or you have any other injuries, be sure to seek medical help. Well, straight ahead, a fast fashion e-commerce giant faces a fine. We'll have that story in your business news. Plus, a North Carolina family came home to an unusual object blocking their driveway, an airplane wing flap. what flight investigators say it came from. Straight ahead, but first, let's check in with Hannah.
It's going to continue to be a hot day out there. Sunscreen and a bottle of water are the two things you're going to want to have. Across the area, you can see temperatures will be in the mid-90s for all of us here along the Gulf Coast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. We are just hours away from the 51st annual Watermelon Festival over in Grand Bay. And while the watermelons won't be available until tomorrow, there's still plenty to do today. Our Stephen Moody tells us what we can expect.
We are back in Grand Bay for another year of one of the best festivals in our area. I'm talking about the Grand Bay Watermelon Festival, and starting today, you'll be able to enjoy all of the sights and sounds, but tomorrow, you'll be able to enjoy all the watermelon you can eat. Oddfellows Festival Park in Grand Bay is once again the home to the annual Watermelon Festival. This is year 51 and the excitement level is just as high as ever, especially at locally owned Sessions Farms.
It's been a family tradition for us, and it's always a big weekend for us, 4th of July weekend. And, you know, we continue to struggle farming, but we still love it, and we still try to provide the community with a few watermelons that they can cut and enjoy.
Today, people will enjoy arts and crafts, great food, and tons of entertainment. Then on Friday, as we celebrate our independence, there will be rides, an open car show, and the annual Pretty Baby Contest. And of course, for the main event, you'll be able to enjoy all of the free sliced ice-cold watermelon that you can eat.
Yeah, just relax, enjoy yourself, eat some watermelon, visit with friends. I think some people even have family reunions around this, so it's a great day for the community.
And that's worth the price of admission.
It's about as good as you get as far as the festivals we do in the Mobile area.
And we have more information about what you can expect, including parking and admission, over on our website right now at fox10tv.com. Reporting here in Grand Bay, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Stephen, thank you. Looks like an exciting weekend in Grand Bay, and parking tomorrow will be $5, while admission will be $5 as well. And the city of Orange Beach hosting a spectacular celebration ahead of the 4th of July holiday. Take a look. And blue fireworks bursting over the night sky at the Wharf. The Independence Day street party at the Wharf in Orange Beach attracted thousands of families last night, and it included activities like prize wheels, a claw machine, face painting, camel rides. Our Claudia Nichols also got to ride one, a reptile bus, a dunk tank, and so much more.
We're doing the bubble truck, we're doing the bouncy houses, and we're right now doing that roll climb, and we just did the camel.
The street party at the Wharf ended yesterday, but don't worry, there will still be several other activities at the Wharf this weekend, including a Shark Run 5K, a nightly spectral laser light experience. Well, more fireworks tonight, but this time in Bay Minette and Saraland. The Bay Minette Rotary Club annual fireworks show starts at 9 p.m. at the Bay Minette Sports Complex. Activities get underway at 6 with local food trucks, and the Saraland Chamber of Commerce fireworks show is set to go off at 9 p.m. The event at Saraland High School begins at 7 with free admission, which is nice, and don't worry, food trucks will be there as well.
Here's a live look outside at our beaches. People are trying to find ways to cool off, and that water is looking crystal clear out there. Low risk of rip currents. Beach is looking great for a way to cool off. Just make sure you apply that sunscreen. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. It is going to be hot. Low rain chances for the 4th, and we're also watching the tropics. These are the 3 main things we're going to talk about today. We did have a front move through our area. It is now way off to our coast. There's some rain showers in front of it that did increase our rain chances earlier this week, but we are staying dry behind this front. A little bit of cloud coverage here and there, but for the most part, rain chances are going to stay 0 today and slowly bump up into the weekend. Forecast highs today, it's going to be hot across the area, mid-90s. For the most part, 94 in Mobile, 93 in Pensacola, 92 in Bruton, 92 in Atmore, 91 in Grove Hill, and 92 in Lucedale. Another thing you need to keep in mind, Heat index values are going to be in the triple digits today, and it's going to be in the triple digits for a few hours into the afternoon. So it's going to be a hot one. Drink plenty of water, take breaks in the shade, take breaks in the AC when you can as well. Listen to your body tell you if it's getting overheated or not. Luckily though, Muggy meter is looking pleasant for the most part. We're in the 60s, which means not as much of a humidity feel out there. So we're in the noticeable category, but recently we've been in the muggy to nearly miserable category for the last couple of weeks. But it's still going to be hot out there, so if you want to get into the pool, this afternoon is looking great out there. 0% chance of rain into the afternoon, but it is going to get hot. 94 degrees by 3 p.m. It'll slowly decrease as we get to sunset, where we'll be in the 80s. So it's going to be hot out there. Same thing at the beaches. Lower 90s for the highs. Low risk of rip currents continues throughout the weekend, but be cautious of any marine life. We have been getting reports of that as well. And this evening, if you want to go out to the fireworks shows that we've mentioned, partly cloudy skies, and it'll clear out to this evening as well. It'll be in the lower 80s for the most part, so it'll be nice out there, and you'll have plenty of visibility to see those gorgeous fireworks. And Independence Day looking very hot, mostly dry, 95 degrees, very low chance of rain, a wind out of the north around 6 miles per hour, so that dry feel is going to continue on. Here's your firework forecast for the 4th of July. Continuing to have a warm evening, clearing skies for the most part. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s for your show out there. Tropical outlook. This used to be making its way into the Gulf, but luckily it has moved off to our east, so it's now an Atlantic issue where it could develop a low for a subtropical or tropical depression later on into this weekend or earlier into next week. So the Gulf, we are free from whatever that could entail. Your weekend forecast though, hot out there. Rain chances do start to increase, 30% chance on both Saturday and Sunday, and the heat continues for your 7-day forecast, and those rain chances start to increase where we have that typical summertime feel. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday at the half hour. Just a bizarre story for you now. An airplane wing flap is found on the ground, blocking a driveway in North Carolina. Now the FAA is trying to determine if the flap is linked to a Delta flight. Fox's Destiny Patterson has this story.
An unusual sight this morning, an airplane part found in a Raleigh driveway. Officials with the Federal Aviation Administration assessing it and any damage. James Krause has investigated more than 500 plane crashes. He says this part is often used to help during landing and takeoff.
It goes in and out the back of the wing.
The FAA now believes this part could belong to a Delta Airlines flight that flew into RDU from Atlanta. Quote, after the aircraft landed safely, it was observed that a portion of the left wing's trailing edge flap was not in place, Delta wrote in a statement. The airline says 6 crew members and 109 passengers were on board.
You can land an aircraft that has this component missing, with it missing, and you can land it safely.
Officials say the flight did land safely and no one on the ground was hurt.
It's amazing. It's amazing when you consider it's such a dense neighborhood and people are out all the time.
Susan Reed manages properties nearby. She says she spent much of her morning trying to piece together where the part could have come from.
We were just really dodged a bullet on this one. And let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
And listen to this, as many as 20 people were injured, including at least 1 child, after a bus hit train tracks and overturned in California yesterday. Officials say a Kern Transit bus on its way to Rosamond left the roadway, hit the nearby railroad tracks, went airborne, flipped several times, and landed on the other side of the tracks. An 8-year-old boy is said to be among the hurt. Some patients were airlifted to the hospital. Others were transported on the ground. At least 1 person is critically injured this morning. Authorities say the impact was so hard that it also damaged the railroad tracks too. According to California Highway Patrol, between 20 to 40 passengers were on board at the time of the crash. And some scary moments in Las Vegas on Tuesday. Power poles and lines collapsed onto vehicles, and it was all caught on this video. It happened during a dust storm, we're told. A driver's dash cam caught the moment the power poles came down like dominoes. The driver said he had to exit his car through the passenger side because power lines were blocking his own side. Several other vehicles were trapped under the collapsed lines, but no injuries were thankfully reported.
Here's another live look outside in Fairhope. You can see plenty of sunshine shining on the bay waters and a very light breeze out of the north as that American flag waves for our July 4th Eve. Temperatures right now, though, along the Gulf Coast, you can see most of us are near 90 degrees or just barely there. We have 90 in Gulf Shores, 93 in Navarre, 89 in Pensacola, 86 here in Mobile, 88 in Atmore, 89 in Evergreen, 91 in Milton, and 90 in Leakesville. So it's going to be a hot one today. Here's our temperature versus heat index map. We are going to be in the mid 90s for our temperatures today. But as you can see, our heat index value is going to be in the triple digits. So a lot of us will be feeling like 100 degrees today. So if you have any outdoor plans, keep that in mind. You're going to want to take breaks inside when you can. Luckily, though, that front that moved through brought in some drier air. So it's going to be a little bit more pleasant out there, slightly lower humidity than what we've been seeing. When we're in the 60s, you notice the humidity out there, but you won't feel the sweat dripping down your back. You won't feel like you're wearing the air outside like we've been feeling the last couple of weeks. So it's slightly more minor than what we've been seeing. And that drier air means 0% chance of rain. Zeros across the board for rain chances today, but you're going to want to make sure you have that sunscreen on hand. So replace that umbrella for sunscreen. Extreme UV index today. Burn time is 10 to 15 minutes. Peak hours is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that is the time where you're going to want to take a lunch break. Try and get inside when you can. Drink plenty of water. Get breaks in the shade, maybe under an umbrella if you're out at the beaches today. One way to cool down: the pool is looking great out there. 0% chance of rain, like I mentioned. 94 degrees by 2 o'clock. Searing heat is going to continue for the majority of this afternoon, and that's going to continue on into the weekend. So ways to cool down: rip current risk at the beaches looking good. Low at our Alabama beaches and then low at our Florida beaches as well. So the beach and the pool looking great for today as well as into this weekend. Here's a more detailed look for the next 5 hours at Gulf Shores. If you are heading to the beach, mostly sunny skies. We may see some partly cloudy skies into this afternoon, but either way, it is going to be hot in the lower 90s. Now, the main story we had this week was tracking the tropics. We had an area that was a little too close to home, but luckily the National Hurricane Center has shifted it more towards the east, so it's more of an Atlantic risk now. We are expecting a low to develop along the stalled front that has moved out of our way. It's going to become stationary. So luckily for us, we are not going to see anything from this tropical development. It could be tropical depression or subtropical. Either way, there's going to be a lot of rain associated with it for our friends in the southeast, but luckily for us, it is no threat to the Gulf Coast waters. Storm names, though, if it is going to come a tropical storm, Chantal is the next one on that list. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. It's going to stay hot. Rain chances will be low for the next 2 days, but into this weekend, we can start to see them increase again. Typical summertime pattern like we know all too well here. It's going to stay warm. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s, and our morning temperatures will be in the lower 70s. Ashlyn?
Hannah, thank you. The time now 11:36. CEOs start saying the quiet part out loud when it comes to AI. A fast fashion e-commerce giant is facing a fine, and most satisfying fast food chains has been ranked in America. Fox's CJ Papa has today's business headlines.
CEOs have started revealing how artificial intelligence could impact the job market. The Wall Street Journal says the cuts could be deep. Ford Chief Executive Jim Farley said in an interview, AI could literally replace half of all white-collar workers in the U.S. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy expects the company's overall corporate workforce to be smaller in the coming years because of what he calls once-in-a-lifetime AI technology.
Save money like in style.
Discount fashion company Shein is facing pushback from regulators in France. It's accused of deceptive business practices, including misleading discounts and vague claims about environmental impact. Shein is responding, saying it was notified in March of last year and already took action. And another win for Chick-fil-A as the fast food chain received the highest rating for customer satisfaction for the 11th year in a row. The Atlanta-based chain was able to secure a score of 83, beating out other competitors like Panda Express, Starbucks, Arby's, and Panera Bread. But chains like Taco Bell and Sonic were voted to the bottom 5, while McDonald's sits in last place with a rating of 70. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, Nissan is recalling more than 440,000 vehicles over an engine issue. The automaker says engine bearings may have defects that could lead to engine failure, raising the risk of a crash. The recalled vehicles include the 2021 to 2024 Rogue, 2019 to 2020 Altima, the 2019 to 2022 Infiniti QX50, and the 2022 Infiniti QX55. Dealers will inspect the recalled vehicles and make repairs if needed, and Nissan will start notifying drivers late next month. In the meantime, listen up, Ford and Lincoln drivers now. Over 200,000 vehicles are being recalled because of an issue with the rear view camera that could increase the risk of a crash. Ford said the camera may freeze or fail to display an image at all. The recall impacts more than a dozen different models of 2018 to 2024 Ford sedans, trucks, and SUVs. And about a half dozen different models of 2019 to 2023 Lincoln sedans and SUVs as well. Dealers will update the camera software free of charge. Well, 2 men are in federal custody after drug enforcement agents seized more than 700 pounds of meth hidden in produce boxes. Patrick Quinn has more.
This type of concealment method is used by the cartels to avoid law enforcement detection.
On Monday, officials were tipped off to this shipment and tracked an 18-wheeler to Gainesville, where officials found 700 pounds of meth taped into the corners of cardboard boxes of thousands of cucumbers.
We believe that this particular load is attributed to either the Sinaloa cartel or the CJNG.
Jay Chung, acting special agent in charge at DEA Atlanta, said they arrested 2 suspects. One suspected of being in the country illegally. This just the latest drug bust with suspects using produce as their ploy. Last August, about 3 times as much meth was found in a truckload of celery bound for the Atlanta State Farmers Market. This latest raid was carried out by Atlanta's Homeland Security Task Force, launched as part of a January 20th immigration enforcement executive order by President Trump. These task force are expected to get as much as $12 billion in the mega bill. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg told me with more funding comes more drug busts.
We do expect the administration and Congress to support this initiative. It's critically important to our community. It's already showing results.
When we come back, a Mars rock could fetch millions at an auction. We'll show it to you. Plus, what's on your plate for the 4th of July barbecue? Straight ahead, we're taking a deep dive into the history of the holiday food after this. As always, thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. Hannah and I will be right back. All right, welcome back. Some fun stories for you guys now. First, a newly discovered interstellar comet is now about 420 million miles from Earth.
The comet 31 Atlas was discovered July 1st by a NASA-funded telescope in Chile.
Scientists say the closest it will get to Earth will be about 150 million miles, so not very close.
They also say it poses no threat to the Earth.
Good. Astronomers around the world are now studying its makeup and behavior.
The comet is expected to reappear in December.
It's pretty incredible. Do you know a lot about the solar system with weather stuff?
I'm not going to lie. I need to do more with my astrology. I have very minimal astrology background. Every time I hear something that comes up, like a moon or something like that, I'm always looking up ways. I'm always learning.
You know, astrology and weather are different.
They
do you get those questions sometimes?
We do get those questions sometimes. They sometimes play hand in hand, but they are 2 very different things. But sometimes a lot of people,
then. I'll ask
right? I'm always learning. I graduated and I'm still learning.
Well, listen to this. Speaking of space, a meteorite known as the last piece of Mars on Earth is going up for auction later this month.
The 54-pound meteorite called NWA 167 88 is one of 400 Martian meteorites ever found on Earth.
Who named it? Because that name is so
I know.
long.
I was reading that and I'm like, wait, am I reading that correctly?
You got it right.
I hope so.
Well, Sotheby's auction house says the rock's size is what makes it so unique, as most Martian meteorites found are just small fragments.
Composition analysis reveals the rock was most likely blasted into space off of Mars' surface due to an asteroid impact.
Wow, that impact so powerful, parts of the rock actually turned into glass.
Some believe that this meteorite belongs in a museum.
I can see why, but planetary scientist Julia Cartwright says an auction sale like this can drive discovery and scientific interest.
The meteorite is expected to sell for up to $4 million.
And it's up for auction on July 16th. Hannah, I can do a mean eBay auction. I'm good at bidding on eBay, but that's about it.
See, the last time I looked on eBay was my roommates were looking at Cheeto-shaped things, so you don't want me to look at eBay for anything.
And I also don't have $4 million, you know.
Yeah, me too. Right in my back pocket.
Well, the 4th of July is just around the corner tomorrow.
And if you're hosting or going to a barbecue this year, historians are breaking down how some foods become classic holiday staples.
Yeah, this is fun. Fox News correspondent Miriam Rafferty has the scoop.
Certain foods are synonymous with certain holidays, and historians say the 4th of July is no exception.
Although the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, 4th of July didn't become a national holiday until after the American Civil War in 1870.
According to Professor Troy Bickham of Texas A&M University, hot dogs quickly became a fan favorite, with the version we know today stemming from sausages brought over by German immigrants during the 1870s.
The Chicago World's Fair in 1893 brought about the popularity of what we might call the modern hot dogs. The type of sausage was called the Dachshund sausage, named after the dog. So it isn't a big jump to kind of shorten that into a simple hot dog.
German immigrants also helped popularize this 4th of July side.
Now, there's a lot of different ways to eat potatoes, but it's the German way is what became the basis of the ubiquitous potato salad in America.
When it comes to the dessert table, you can bake an old school classic like apple pie.
There are a few things more American than apple pie.
But experts say you can thank the invention of modern refrigerators for inspiring new holiday treats.
The red, white, and blue dessert. Often it's red comes from strawberries and raspberries, blue from blueberries, and white from something that would be a mixture of cream or Cool Whip or cream cheese. This doesn't come about, however, until the 1950s.
Meanwhile, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council estimates Americans will eat 150 million hot dogs this 4th of July. I'm Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
And I will be contributing to that number of hot dogs. Love them. Are you eating anything fun for the 4th of July tomorrow?
Whatever I pack in my lunch when I come back.
You're working.
Because I'm working.
Well, I'll be off around 5-ish tomorrow. So my husband and I make phenomenal baked beans every year. So we're going to have a little cookout, which should be fun. My mouth is watering. I am ready for it. Well, Hannah, we'll be back with 3 to know before you go. Where are we looking right now?
We're looking out at Dauphin Island Sea Lab, and it is looking gorgeous out there. If you're not at the beach right now, I don't know what you're doing, because that's where I'd want to be right now with these hot temperatures.
I'm jealous. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Cleaning the grill might be top priority this weekend after all of that July 4th holiday fun, and the Queen of Clean shows how to clean the grill's racks. Check it out.
You know, we all love to grill, but we all hate to clean them too. And sometimes it's so gross, it's so grimy, there's so much food on it that you don't know how to get it clean anymore. And I want to show you a quick, easy way to do it. And this is what we're going to do. You're going to take your grill rack, whatever size it is, you're going to put it inside a garbage bag. If you have a bigger grill, I recommend a good heavy-duty black garbage bag for it. Get it in there, lay it down. Then you're going to take paper towels, and you want to cover the grill rack with the paper towels. Now, it doesn't matter if it's big, small, whatever. You still want to cover it. And this works for charcoal grills, it works for gas grills, anything. Then we're going to put some undiluted ammonia in a spray bottle. Then we're going to spray it onto these paper towels. Now keep your face back because it is ammonia. And we're going to start and we're going to saturate those paper towels. And when I say saturate, I mean saturate. Spray it on really heavily. Because what is going to work is not so much the ammonia wetness, it's the fumes that you get from it. So we're going to soak it down really well. Then we're going to take our garbage bag and we're going to seal it around the grill rack. We'll take the grill rack, we'll lay it down on the ground, and we'll leave it for 24 hours. Now, don't lay it on your grass because plastic and grass are not friendly with each other. After 24 hours, you're going to reach your hand in, you're going to take your paper towels, you're going to just rub all of that crud off, and it will come off like you won't believe. When you're done, lay it out on your driveway someplace out of the way. Hose it down just with your hose and a nice heavy stream of water. Once you do that, put it back on the grill, turn the grill on for about 10 or 15 minutes, shut it off, the grill rack's clean and sanitized, and you're good to go. Dispose of all of this in the trash, and you're through. You got a great clean grill. So give it a try and see what you think. For more information, go to queenofclean.com. Thanks for talking dirty with the Queen of Clean.
All right. Thank you, Queen, as always. Well, here's your 3 to know before you go today. TSA expects more than 18.5 million people to travel by air in the time from July 1st through Monday, July 7th. The highest passenger volume is expected on Sunday, with nearly 3 million passengers expected to be screened. Now, if you're traveling with kids 12 and under, TSA says they have practices in place to speed up those screenings. Kids can be in the TSA pre-check line if a parent is enrolled. And then Amazon Prime members receive an early deal ahead of Prime Day and the 4th of July holiday weekend. Starting today through Sunday, Prime members can get $1 off every gallon of gas up to 35 gallons at any participating BP, Amoco, or AM/PM gas station. The deal is for one fuel purchase only, though, and Amazon says the offer is eligible for any active Prime members with an account linked to Earnify, which is a mobile app that gives users points on purchases at the gas pump. And finally, concerned residents in the Atlanta area were duped by a bizarre low-hanging cloud, mistaking the freakish funnel-like formation for a large tornado. You see those videos and images captured near the city of Smyrna that show the imposing cloud, which was definitely giving tornado-like vibes, but is actually a harmless formation called a scud cloud. Scud clouds are low-hanging, ragged cloud fragments that form below the main cloud base and often occur with a thunderstorm cold front. And although they do extend toward the ground like a tornado, experts say it's the noticeable lack of rotation that sets a scud cloud apart. And look, we have a cloud expert right here. Wow, would you look at that? I've never seen a scud cloud. Have you?
I've seen them all the time, and a lot of times people send us these pictures saying, what is this? Is this a tornado? We call them scud clouds, but at the end of the day, their nickname is scary looking cloud.
They are.
Yes.
They're very ominous.
I saw pictures of this one on Facebook from people at the Braves game, and I'm like, yeah, I would think so too, honestly, because, you know, you have a little bit less visibility because you're in the stadium to see.
Well, that's good to know then for the future.
Is.
All right.
Let's take one more look at your forecast. Day planner for today. It's going to be a hot one. 94 degrees by 3 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies and no rain to ruin your day. Now for your Independence Day, here's your forecast. The heat is continuing on. It is hot as a firecracker out there. 95 degrees. Rain chances are extremely low. Winds out of the north around 5 to 6 miles per hour. It's going to stay dry. It's going to stay hot. But into this weekend, we can start to see those rain chances go up. 30% chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday, and that is our typical afternoon showers and thunderstorms we see here along the Gulf Coast. 94 on Saturday and 92 on Sunday. As you can see in our 7-day forecast, the temperatures are going to stay hot and our rain chances will slowly start to increase as we get into next week. So the heat is on and those rain chances are slowly coming back.
And it's beautiful today. No scud clouds in sight, right?
Barely any clouds.
We are set for the day. Thank you so much for watching us on your Thursday. We'll be right back at 3 p.m.